So we're now going to do the startup pitches. So we've got 7 companies, and the way it's going to work is each company gets 3 minutes to do their pitch, which we're going to be pretty rigorous about. So I'm just letting the contestants, as we'll call them, know that there's a timer here. So when that hits 0, stop talking, it's over. Then we'll have 2 minutes for questions. Don't text your questions in because we're not going to use the iPad. The time it's going to go too quickly for that. So in the 2 minutes of questions, I'm going to just dash down into the audience. We've got another microphone at the back, and we'll take your questions then. When we've had all 7, we're going to put up the names of the companies with a code to text for each company, and you text for the people you want to win. Now, I spoke to the organisers before. You can't vote for the same person more than once, but you could vote for more than one person. So if there's anyone you really like, vote for them. Right? So that's going to be fairly simple, and the winners will be announced at the end, and the winners get a free booth at the Innovate Finance Global Summit, which is next March. So all to play for, and with that we're going to hand over to our first contestant, which is Akoni. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Felicia, CEO and co-founder of Akoni. We are currently in the perfect storm of market pressures. Banks have got a significant amount of regulatory pressure under open banking and PSD2, as well as the liquidity requirements that face them under Basel III. Businesses are earning little to no returns on their cash, yet the mid-market controls a significant amount of cash, and this is just the UK figures. This kind of situation is lose-lose for both the banking and financial institutions markets, as well as for the businesses. Akoni provides a solution through a self-service portfolio planner and tools, providing both the insights to the businesses and linking this to the execution of products. We provide our platform both directly to the businesses, as well as on a white label enterprise basis to the banks. How do we do this? At the core of our platform is a deposit planner, which allocates products over multiple maturity periods. We also use predefined governance criteria or an investment mandate and automate product recommendations on an ongoing basis. We currently have a range of deposits and are adding money market. We provide powerful tools which provide insights such as around your debtors' days. For example, where a company is taking 65 days to collect their debtors, and their peer group of the same size and same sector takes 25 days, over a number of quarters, this consistently only means 2 things. They have a surplus of cash, and this needs to be linked to products in terms of recommendations, or they have a fundraising gap, and through our enterprise platform can access their relationship manager. We ingest data via open banking APIs, manual uploads, as well as with one of our data partners, Bureau van Dijk. This is part of our core team. We are a great combination of innovators as well as bankers, experienced in delivering technology to financial institutions, as well as SME coverage, which is critical for the markets with whom we're speaking. We are currency and country agnostic in terms of a rollout. We see strong potential for international growth, and in addition to the UK, we're already working in Europe. The BlackRock CEO this week said, "Fintech has transformed payments, however has done little for savings." We are seeing strong appetite from our financial institutions partners to actually transform this space. If you're interested, we're happy to do a demo or talk later at our stand.
Brilliant. Spot on time. Thank you. Right, so do we have any questions?
Silence.
Any questions? So,
how do you make money?
We actually have 2 separate businesses, 2 legal entities in our group. One charges a combination of a platform fee and cash under management direct to businesses. And the second, for the enterprise solution, is effectively software fees.
Thanks. Okay, we have time for another question if there is one. No? Okay, well, thank you very much. You set the timer. The next, it's my first sort of day of wearing glasses properly, because gradually at kind of 41 I could read here, 42 here, 43 here. I'm running out of arm length, so I had to get glasses. I'm going to poke myself in the eye at some point today. Right, so Alterest, next contestant, please take the stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the lunch. I had to miss it, but let's get started with this. Okay, great. My name is Jee van. The company is Alterest. We provide institutional grade data and tools for private and alternative credit. As some of you or many of you might know, that the private or the alternative credit space has grown significantly in the past few years, mainly driven by banks taking a step back from SME lending, mid-market corporate debt, and also some parts of the consumer loan market. And in place of the banks, a wide range of lenders have stepped in, ranging from peer-to-peer marketplace lenders, balance sheet lenders, and also private debt funds. And the money that's flowing into this alternative credit space is largely driven by institutional investors who have typically spent months in terms of researching this space, in terms of building internal systems to manage large capital deployments, mainly because the whole space, whether it includes data or investments, is quite fragmented. It's non-standard given the different types of credit that's available to investors, and it's also quite opaque. And to solve all these problems, we created Alterest as a single platform for institutions to access the alternative credit space in a much more seamless and efficient manner. And the way we do it is by focusing on data. What we provide is a scalable and secure data infrastructure that helps the institutional investors on one side easily work with the platforms on the other. This could be in terms of the initial research and due diligence on their loan books, or this could be when they deploy huge amounts of capital. It could be in terms of maintaining or managing the portfolios, running risk analytics, or reporting to their stakeholders internally. And all of this is optimized for big data so that our customers don't have to. The reason we do this is because we deal with loan information, payment level information, and this typically means millions of loans, and many times that in terms of the actual repayments. So all in all, fully scalable data infrastructure for institutions to interact better with the alternative credit space. I think I have a few more seconds left. So if you are either one of the capital providers to your right or one of the loan originators, I think we can help in terms of providing this infrastructure. We've done that in the past for investors across UK and Europe, typically banks and larger asset managers. We've also worked with a wide range of loan originators, ranging from consumer to business and all the way to private debt as well. So please come and speak to us. We're outside. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Great, good timekeeping. Do we have any questions? So could you just say it into the microphone?
It's easy. How many parties do you have on your platform? Just a number.
How many parties?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those are numbers we've not, of course, made public, but I'm happy to speak to you on that. In general, we work with institutional investors, so the number really doesn't make too much sense to us. What makes sense to us is the amount of overall lending volumes that we are exposed to as a platform. And I can talk to you about those numbers later on if you want to.
Okay. Any last questions? Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Right. Our third contestant, if we can reset the timer, thank you, is Finpoint. So Finpoint, come on up. 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Gruenwald from Finpoint. I look after the technology platform. What we do is we help businesses find finance, whether that is for working capital, business loans, or all the way to equity type products. Rather than telling about products and how we operate, I thought I'll show an example of a company that we helped. It's a company called Eyre Digital. It's a digital marketing company based up in Leeds. And they basically needed funding to grow the business. And they found that funding on our platform. And why did they like what we do? We basically have one of the largest panels of lenders and choices in the UK market, with 123 lenders as we speak, and that number sort of gradually increases as we find more lenders that want to participate in the SME lending market. And our job is to basically matchmake between what the company would like to achieve and the credit and the policy criteria from the lending side of things. So you see some examples of lenders to give you an idea. Of course, by no means this is not all of the lenders, but to give you a flavor of the choice that is on offer. The way the process works is that we work in partnership. In the Leeds scenario, we work with the City of Leeds, or Leeds City Region Local Enterprise Partnership as a catchy name. They basically originate companies that are looking to grow, bring them onto our platform. Once they're on the platform, we work with the company and then basically offer a free review or sanity check by Pricewaterhouse. Pricewaterhouse doesn't do a FCA type financial advice piece, but they basically sanity check what the client has put on the platform, whether that makes sense for the respective financial product that they're asking for. And once that is gone through the process there, the companies can then improve the application and ultimately submit it to the finance providers on our panel. They get to see that information anonymously, need to express interest, and so effectively what we're doing is we're reversing the process of shopping around for finance for businesses in a very convenient way. We have, or we're proud to be partnering with a number of other parties, as you can see on the slide here. So it works across the board for different industries, different sizes and stages of companies. And we have relationships with Federation of Small Business, or CBI, to help their members access finance. And we ourselves are proud to be supported by London and Partners to grow Finpoint. I think we have some time left, so hopefully there's lots of questions now.
Okay, do you have any questions? Oh, 2 questions. I'm not quite sure who had the hand up first.
Oh, sorry, were you, okay, sorry. It's a 2-part question, actually. One of them is, what's the average length of time from application to approval? And if along the way an SME struggles or is turned down, is there some advice that goes back upstream to help the SME become more financially astute? Thanks.
Good question. So first part of the answer is it isn't a metric that we measure. So because we sometimes have, so by nature of, for example, Federation of Small Business, we're running a pilot in 3 regions there. And people either sign up because they need finance and then it's more imminent, or they sign up when they join the FSB and they sort of, because we're one of the member benefits in those areas, they may not need finance for a good few months. So the amount of time you spend preparing is more or less irrelevant to us in the grander scheme of things, because we're not there to sell a financial product within 7 days, but to basically support the company in preparing the information and with the help of Pricewaterhouse sanity check that what is being put forward to the lenders is of the best possible quality that it can be. So from that point of view, hopefully that answers the sort of the journey. And yes, they can either talk to us before it gets to Pricewaterhouse, or once they've spoken to Pricewaterhouse. About 80% of the time, companies then have something that they'd like to add or improve as part of the overall package that they're putting forward.
How important on a scale to 1 to 10 is the PwC element to your proposition to your clients?
10 being best, 0?
10 being critical if you didn't have
Sorry,
it.
I'm German, so sometimes the ratings change.
Yeah. So 10 being, if you didn't have it, it's critical to the whole way your business model works.
It is a select sort of option that we have in partnership with Leeds and with the FSB, but you can also use our service without speaking to Pricewaterhouse, so it's not a requirement that you speak to them. The idea is, more broadly speaking, to have an investor readiness type piece in there somewhere, so that you help the company who may or may not have full-time finance managers or finance directors in the business to try and improve what they do before it goes off. And in that sense, it's sort of counterintuitive to some of the alternative lending market that may promote the idea that you can have money in 7 days or in X amount of hours in your bank account. Our idea is mainly geared towards choice. So we want to give you access to choice so that you can make up your mind what works best for the company. And so on average, we have 6.3 expressions of interest per proposal that comes through. So you immediately have a variety of options in front of you when you use the platform. But you can decline Pricewaterhouse as well.
Okay, we need to stop there. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, our fourth contestant is Essentia Analytics. Would you like to take the stage and start the timer? Thank you.
Afternoon. My name is Julian Hall and I'm COO at Essentia Analytics, and we're helping professional investors to make better investment decisions. Just like to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about what we do and some of the success we've had to date. Human mind has evolved over millions of years to be highly intelligent, but when it comes to managing money, it's still fallible. Research has proven over and over again that every investor is liable to succumb to behavioural biases which result in suboptimal decisions. So that could be anything from being over-optimistic about the chance of a loss-making investment recovering, or equally being overconfident after a winning streak of investments. Yet at the same time, the same brain is brilliant at synthesising multiple sources of information, financial data, market data, news, trends, and bringing those together into investment theses. So given these strengths and weaknesses of the human mind, we're seeing that the future of investment management doesn't lie in artificial intelligence replacing fund managers, investors, but instead it's going to be around the optimal combination of human skill and computing power. The problem is, in volatile, noisy markets, it's often really hard to distinguish between what is human skill and what's actually investment luck, given the way the markets move. And that's something that's becoming increasingly important as the active fund management industry is struggling to compete in face of cheaper alternatives. So at Essentia, we've developed machine learning software that analyses readily available information, which is investors' past investment decisions, and can draw out these subtle biases, the weaknesses, and highlight the strengths too. We have a team of ex-portfolio managers that work with the users to coach them through the insights that our software delivers. And also we're capable of delivering nudges, which are emails and alerts, which pick up on past mistakes and past behaviour and alert the users to them. And that importantly enables us to prove the ROI of our system. What we're doing is really the same concept of data analytics that's transformed sport over a number of years, from everything from golf to basketball to football. That's by mixing technology, data analytics, and some of the latest behavioural science research. And importantly, we know it works. We can prove the ROI. Every year, 85% of our clients renew. These are some of the people we're working with at the moment, and they're some of the biggest names in the industry. We've got a really solid foundation of recurring revenue. We've got an exciting prospect list. We're fundraising at the moment, so if anyone wants to talk, I'd be delighted to chat. Thank you.
Okay, questions?
So one of the things that tends to happen a lot in markets, especially like when you're dealing with professional investors, is mass psychology. Mm-hmm. So everybody in the market might tend to think the same way, and therefore you have a bubble or you have a sudden crash following it. Now, theoretically, getting onto the back of that might still be considered a mistake. However, when you're benchmarking an actual trade, you might still end up having made money, and therefore it would not be considered as a mistake. So my question is, how do you define a mistake, or how do you define a good trade in scenarios like that?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're looking at a whole aggregate of investors' trades over a period of time. It might be 3 months, it might be a year, it might be 2 years, running thousands of scenarios to determine what their alternative decisions were, and then rating the decisions they made against the decisions they could have made, because you've got the market data to be able to predict that. Given that, you can say what are their good decisions and what are their bad decisions. You can then say under what circumstances they made those good decisions. Was it something about the market environment that they behaved particularly well? We found other links between, literally the days that people make those decisions can have an impact. And then we're not prescriptive. We're not saying everyone needs to behave a certain way. We're saying for that particular person, here's your strengths, here's your weaknesses, here's what you can work on, and here's how you can improve your skill in a sort of continually improving fashion.
And do you actually keep a monitoring log of the counterfactual? For example, had you done this, this is how you would have ended up, or because
yes, and the beauty of market data is that you have that counterfactual.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. We have time for one more question, if there is one. Yep, at the back there.
Hi. How do you balance the human behaviour against sort of quantitative research beliefs?
I can't answer that question, but I will find someone who can. Generally speaking, we're just working with individual fund managers, looking at everything that goes into their decision process. So that might be the way the quants feed them information, but fundamentally they're making the decisions, and we're trying to quantify those decisions, work out what works for them and what doesn't.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, next up is TAINA Technology. You have 3 minutes. Your time starts now. Thank you.
Financial institutions worldwide are required to check and validate hundreds of millions of FATCA and CRS tax forms each year. On average, 65% of these forms are invalid. A failure to spot errors puts them at risk of paying costly regulatory fines. Not to mention valuable human capital tied up in validating these forms could be deployed elsewhere. Meanwhile, pressure to save costs and improve compliance intensifies for financial institutions. Is there a solution? TAINA, the Tax Artificial Intelligence Network agent, is building a fully automated validation solution for FATCA and CRS forms. TAINA can validate tax forms in any format, including non-electronic forms, and even forms completed by hand. There is no need to key in the information manually, and therefore no risk of making errors, and valuable human capital is not tied up doing low-value activity. TAINA validates tax forms in accordance with complex tax rules, using algorithms that were created with the world's top FATCA and CRS expert. TAINA automatically cross-checks against IRS and other databases. TAINA harnesses the power of artificial intelligence to cut costs and reduce risks.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Maria. I'm the founder of TAINA. And I think the best way to show you why we do what we do and how we bring value to our clients, I'll give you an example of one of our clients which is very representative. They're a global financial institution. They came to us from the US office after they got fed up of trying to build something like this in-house. When they came to us, they had a combination of internal team engaged in this work as well as a consultancy firm. As soon as we got engaged, the consultancy firm need fell out, and so there was an immediate cost saving of 84% on the spot for our client. Then 2 months into our relationship, they were able to streamline the internal team by 40%. So that's it. That's essentially the value that we bring, and we have only just begun. How do we do this? It's as much about reg as it is about tech, and it takes a combination of really deep regulatory expertise. The person who writes our rules and keeps them up to date is Professor Hayden Perriman. He is the world's leading authority on FATCA and CRS. On the technology side, our research and development is overseen by Professor Felicia, who is the world's leading authority on artificial intelligence in document analysis. And then we have a number of people in the team who have felt the pain of our clients on the ground and now helping our clients to address this problem with the solution that we've built. So we're here for the rest of the day. Love to hear all your questions, and come and talk to us.
Okay, so do you have any questions? At the back.
How big is your universe of potential clients? How do you estimate that, and how big do you think it is at your kind of current scale and potential scale, say?
Right, so the population of customers that is affected by these laws is 850,000 institutions worldwide. We're not going to attack all of that population, of course. Within our universe, we've seen 1,000 institutions that are within our reach, and that's kind of what we're going for within 5 years. But our plan really is to scale horizontally within the financial institutions whilst we have the foothold in FATCA and CRS, which is extremely niche, very specialized, difficult to do, but once you're there, you can go horizontally within those financial institutions. That's the plan. Great question. Thanks.
Okay. So another question? Yep.
Hi. You mentioned that 50% or I think it was higher of those FATCA forms get rejected. After going through your system, what percentage are there any failures, or has it been 100% foolproof so far?
So there are several aspects to it, and I think you've actually touched upon a very interesting question, which is there is an error rate in the forms to start with. So when they come into us, there's 65% error rate on average. Now what happens is typically they don't get spotted, those errors, and that's the bomb ticking to happen, which is what we are seeking to address, because we are providing an automated solution. Even if you have a backlog like of millions of forms, we can go through that very quickly, and we can tell you which ones are invalid and which ones you need to follow up on. There is a different angle which we didn't cover here, but actually you're alluding to it, which is we also provide an online solution for these forms. Now, if that happens, once that gets adopted, and I think it will because several institutions are already very interested in that, you will have no errors because the client will know when they're completing it online, our system tells them immediately what they're completing correctly. And so you will never have incorrect forms submitted in the first place. That's the idea.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Our penultimate pitch is LOQBOX. Like to come up, Tom? 3 minutes. Time starts now.
Good afternoon. Throughout the world, many millions of people are denied access to basic goods and services because they're invisible to the financial system. LOQBOX is the fix for this. My name's Tom Eyre, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of LOQBOX. Our users build their credit histories, increase their financial visibility, make savings, and improve their financial knowledge, all for free. I co-founded LOQBOX with Gregor Mowat. Together we have 25 years experience in financial services, both myself overseas and Gregor overseas. I worked in corporate insolvency, Gregor as a senior partner for KPMG. Having seen the effects of financial exclusion across the globe and across our careers, we decided to self-fund the creation of LOQBOX. LOQBOX enables our users to make monthly payments towards a savings goal. Crucially, these payments build directly onto our users' credit histories with the 3 UK credit reference agencies. By using a savings target to build a credit payment history, our users are able to prove not only that they can manage monthly payments, but also increase their digital visibility, ensuring that those that were invisible to the financial system now become visible. LOQBOX users can redeem their savings at any time into a new current savings or investment account. We get paid for this by our partner banks, which is how we can make LOQBOX free for all of our users. Every user also gets access to LOQBOX Learn, our complementary educational journey. LOQBOX came out of pilot in July, so only 2 months ago. Right now, we have a live and rapidly growing user base generating ongoing revenue. We're FCA regulated. We've successfully deployed our system, which can handle 1 million customers plus concurrently. We have successfully negotiated distribution or partnership deals with high street banks, major consumer credit lenders, financial comparison sites, investment account providers, other fintech inclusion partners, and free credit score providers. Traction with our users is excellent. We're achieving an astonishing 25% conversion rate from new website visitors into LOQBOX users. Over 35% of our users are actively engaging with our educational content, which is obviously very important to us. We're understandably proud of what we've achieved in such a short space of time, but most importantly, we're extraordinarily proud of what our users have achieved. In only 2 months, we've helped our users commit to saving over £150,000 over the next 12 months. That's an average of £500 each, and that in a time when 40% of UK adults only have £100 in savings. LOQBOX fixes financial exclusion. We're up and running in the UK, and we have ambitions to expand around the globe in both emerging and major developed economies. I'm Tom Eyre. This is LOQBOX. Happy to take your questions.
Great. There's a question at the back, please.
That's great, and yeah, a good ethos. How can you demonstrate that the people that aren't or are investing with you already wouldn't have already been invested or investing somewhere else? And what's the demographic? Because obviously the people that are excluded are low income, generally individuals.
Well, actually, interestingly, that's pretty much not the case in the UK. So UK, most of our users are millennial, they're aspirational, they're generally excluded from the credit system because they're invisible to the system, as opposed to having been unable to access it or having made credit mistakes in the past. So our flow of users that come onto our site at the moment generally come from lenders, from comparison sites, where they've been rejected for credit at that point for being too thin files. So they've been unable to prove that they're able to manage monthly payments, and the lenders have been unable to lend to them. Our journey effectively incubates those users through that process. So it gives them that opportunity to build the monthly payment history, which is visible in a practical way within the existing credit system. And as they leave our journey, they're then able to go on with a demonstrable history of payments, as well as a lump sum of savings, which is a happy byproduct of the journey, as well as a better financial education.
Great, we have time for one more question. Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, so last pitch, last but not least, I think, as it's traditional to say. City Falcon, if you'd like to come up. Here he is. And 2 minutes on the clock. Your time starts now-ish. When you're ready.
Hi, let me start with a question. How many of you have read a piece of financial or business news in the last 1 week? Right? Most of those who are awake. Oh yeah. We need content because we need to make decisions. And the issue today is there's just too much content. We don't have enough time. And this is what we are solving at City Falcon. We provide a personalized financial news feed, which means that each of you here in the room have your own personalized financial news feed, what is relevant for you. We do this using artificial intelligence, push notifications, and voice technologies. Our clients include BNP Paribas, several fintech companies, and thousands of traders and investors. We've raised £1.1 million in funding, and we're looking to be cash flow positive next year. Our platforms are already live on desktop, Android, iOS. We have an API for businesses, and we're going to soon launch on voice devices, including Amazon Echo, Google Home, Microsoft Cortana, and others. But let me give you a view of what we are working on and what future might look like. Can we play this again? Nope. I hope the time would not be reduced. So imagine when you wake up in the morning in the future, and instead of picking up your newspaper, when you go into the kitchen, you could just
Ask City Falcon what's going on in the markets.
Journal 1 says that the pound is rallying after strong GDP figures. News 29 says that Apple is likely to launch a new device next month. Would you like to bookmark any stories to read later?
Yes, please save the story about Apple.
When you get into your car, it's no longer just a radio, but it's an interactive, personalized
Falcon,
radio.
What's the pound trading at right now?
Pound dollar is at 1.23 up 0.1%. And pound euro is at 1.15 up 0.3%.
Thanks.
When you go to work, you have productivity tools which are added onto your platform. There's a chatbot that can help you make decisions much faster.
Show me the top 10 stories for Gracias Ventures watch list in the last 1 month.
Here are the top 10 stories for your watch list.
Select stories 2, 5, 6, 7, 9 and send a PDF to my email.
Email sent.
Language is no longer a barrier.
Emocionante en el mundo de fintech. TechCrunch dice que el banco fintech Monzo levantó 19.5 millón libras esterlinas.
And instead of you searching for information, we want to use push notifications, which have been around for a while.
I'm going to bed now. Wake me up if my portfolio drops more than 1%.
So with City Falcon, we provide personalized financial news, and it's going to soon be available at the command of your voice. Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any questions?
Maybe you can just download the app.
Do you just ask the Echo device still?
I can quickly do if I have 1 sec.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Alexa, launch City Falcon.
Hello, Ruzbeh Bacha.
What are the top stories for my watch list?
"23 hours ago Forex Live said, Pust stays below the 1.3532. Sellers push to new session lows. 20 hours ago Fortune said, Amazon is making a huge change to its cloud pricing. 22 hours
Alexa,
ago Fortune...
dislike the first story. So you can give feedback and it learns. If you want a more detailed demo, we have a booth outside, and I can spend a lot of time with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
The article number 1